I'll tell you, there are a lot more health challenges than I've ever thought I would experience. But then why should I be any different than anybody else who's aging? Because that goes with aging.
It's getting harder and harder to get around, and I limp and groan and moan sometimes. But I don't feel bad about that. I'm lucky to have been here and been on this earth as long as I have.
We are here, we are aging, we know that we'll not leave this place walking out, and it's preparing for the next step, but keeping happy, keeping a smile. Many things have happened, and now we're here in this one room, but it's enough. It's enough, and we're happy, and you can't ask for more than that.
As you were saying about aging, not everyone gets that privilege. I think of the phrase, so this is the oldest I've ever been. So I go forward.
When I go to a wedding and I hear those vows in sickness and in health, those words really ring in my heart because you have no idea at 20-something what you're going to be faced with later on in life.
What is the best life that we can live in the time we have left? Which should be an automatic question for anyone aging.
What was I supposed to do? Who was I supposed to be? I didn't really have anyone depending on me anymore. I didn't have a job to do. All I had to do was be, and I had never really been in that situation before.
Emphasize not what you can no longer do, but what you can continue to do.
A word that is big to me is the word engage. Always be engaged in something. Read a book, be in conversation. This thing goes stale if it's not used. It needs stirred up all the time.
It's also given me a time to reflect on death and dying, which again is a subject that most people don't like to think about and which I never thought about very much. What is life and what does it mean and what does heaven look like? All of that has been very fulfilling and comforting to me.
Keep growing, keep reading and trying new things and hearing the stories of others. That's the greatest blessing.
The ways I have dealt with aging, I decided, were all A words. One was to accept that I was aging. The other was to adapt to what that means in terms of adjusting your life and your style and how you get around. And that also implies anticipating next steps. And the other A word was then to be willing to accept assistance and help from others. And to not be ashamed of doing that. So those are all perspectives that help me not take myself too seriously or to put myself down for being where I am.
Every Wednesday, a team of 5 of us are going into a village center to nursing care and assisted living to bring communion. That's a very enriching experience. It puts life all in perspective, and I love to listen to the stories. So that brings us great joy.
Well, I think first of all, the joy is in finding ways to look at each moment in a different way. I use a little saying that guides my routines. Do the things you love to do in the places you love to be with the people that you love.
I just find that being with other people and talking about my situation and their situation and feeling that community has been so helpful, and it does bring joy because I feel more than ever before in my life that I'm part of a community that is very, very caring.
When we go up and down the hall, we try to make everybody smile. It doesn't take much, and it may be the only time they smiled that day, but It's fun to make people smile.
Last week I planted pansies out on my window boxes, and then we had this frigid weather, and they all went. So today I'm kind of watching some of them say, oh, wait a minute, maybe we can come up and keep on blooming again. I am a classic black thumb. I can kill the plastic plant. So when anything like that works, I take joy in rebirth, renewal, regeneration, and going forward.
I do wrestle with memory loss. I don't have the recall ability. But you don't have to, because there's other ways to communicate nowadays. The technology is there. We pray in the Lord's Prayer on earth as it is in heaven. Might that be a little bit of a taste of what heaven might be like? That we would all speak our language, but we would understand each other.
We've had God open doors for us that we didn't know there were even doors. And one day, the doors closed, just one right after another. It works out things that you could not work out. Those are God moments.
Live today in the joy of today, look for the joys in it, instead of looking for, things are so bad, I wish it could be like it used to be. Looking back gives me, I can remember with joy the many things I have, but I don't want to live back there again. I want to be where I am and just experience the beauty of relationships, the beauty of nature, the beauty of family. I now have 4 great-grandchildren, and we have such fun together. Why would I want to go back to a time when they weren't in my life?
Around the corner, who knows what may be next, but hoping that what we've learned around all the corners of life, we can manage the next one.